How you doing, everybody? I just wanted to share some new experiences that I've had with the scrim. You know, I had put out about wetting the scrim and then hanging it up, and I don't do that no more. I had talked about wetting the scrim, wringing it out, and then putting it inside of my truck window and then driving down the road so it would dampen up a little bit. Well, I've got a new process now. Dan Wagner had mentioned this on the forum, and another member there, Kevin, had said that the same thing about wrapping it in another towel. I've done two things. I've done that and I've done this. What I have here is my half scrim, and I have my whole scrim, and I have another whole scrim, and this is my English John scrim. This is the scrim that English John gave me. Now I'm going to show you some things here with the big scrim. And what I do, everybody talks about wringing it out. It's a pain in the butt. I mean, heck, it's a pain in the butt walking. It's, you know, if we just lay in a capsule, we won't be, you know, have to do anything. We're just laying in a capsule. But, you know, the things we got to do, and wringing out a scrim is not a big deal. But you need to wring it out. So I want to put it in there like this. I'm just going to wring it out. Not a big wring, just a twist. You know, I know on the other video I did, I really wringed and wringed hard, but just so you can get an idea, you want to try to get as much out as you can. And like James had said, you want to snap it, snap it, snap it. He says crack it, I say snap it. So you're going to snap it. Now, like I said before, this is still a little bit too wet. It's not damp, it's wet. So how do you get it to be damp? Well, like I said before, I stuck it in the window of my car and drove down the road until it dampened to the right dampness. And before that, I had hung it on something and let it dry out a little bit until it gets to the right dampness. All right, now what I do now is I take the scrim and I take the dry one, and you just hook it up like this. You got the wet one, you got the dry one, and you just fold it like this. And get that wet one in there. There. Now, I can continue this video for 10 more minutes, and you'll see how damp the dry one will get from the wet one. But what's happening is this dry one is soaking up what's from the wet one, and in no time this is going to be ready to go. Now, with the cut scrim, what I'm going to do, instead of using the big scrim, when I'm not using the big scrim, I'll be using the small scrim. And what I'll do here is I'll take the scrim and I'll mark it in half. That's about halfway. okay, and I wet it. I wet it halfway. That's all I do. Wet it halfway. Now, I'll wring that out. I'll wring the wet part out. Not much. Doesn't take much. Not a lot of work to have to wring out a scrim. It's not a big deal. When you want to walk to the store, you got to take steps. You got to do something to get there. Well, you got to do this in order to get it right. Okay? And there's probably still a lot of water in there that I could have wrung out. But the point is, now you have half wet, half dry. You want to snap it, again, like James had said. Snap that baby. Crack that baby. And then I do the same thing here, but I use the same scrim. The dry side, the wet side. See? Just right. You just fold it up. Fold it up. And within 10 minutes, this is ready to go. Because the dry side is pulling out the wet from the wet side. And in no time, it's ready to go. I mean, by the time I walk in the house, it's ready to go. I got my tools going. First thing I do is wet my scrim, get my tools, and before you know it, it's ready to go. This one is still cleaning the dampness out. It's only been, what, 3 or 4 minutes? As you can see here, you got the natural sea sponge. Holds a lot of water. Look how much water is in there. That thing is totally strung out. There's no water in there. Now watch how much water this thing holds. It's not dripping no more. But that is holding a ton of water. And when you use this to wipe ledges, it saves the scrim. It saves the scrim. So you want to wipe your ledges with this. You also want to wipe your squeegee with it. That's better than wiping it with a rag, because the rag will wear out the edge faster. So you know, that gives it the ideal wetness, the ideal dryness. It's not totally dry, because if it was totally dry, then it would leave a skid mark. But this is just right. So when you go to snake, it's gonna do a perfect job. Well, let's see. This is still going. I'm feeling it. It's coming through. It's coming through. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. You can see the dampness here starting to come through. You can see the dampness there starting to push through. You know, it probably might even work even better if I get it really tight. Get it real tight. The tighter the better. And it works. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all. There is no way that I can complain about using a dry scrim. No way. Dry scrims work good. Work really good. Another thing I can't complain about is using a full-size scrim. No way, no how. I like big scrims. Big scrims are cool. I also like using the little scrim. Like this. Look at that. Get it tight. Now another thing I do, I've heard people complain about that their scrim gets wet. So they got this side wet, so they go to the other side because it's dry. Well, my problem is the opposite. When I let my scrim hang from my bull ring or my pouch or my belt, it begins to dry. I don't want it dry. I want it damp. So how do I keep it damp? Well, what I do is, when I get done using it on something, detailing the edges, you notice I'm not going like a bottom here. I'm detailing the edges here. I'll take it when I want to put it in my belt. Instead, I'll take it and I'll just bunch it up like this, because then it stays damp. Bunch it up like this. You know, bunch it up, and this is on my belt, and I'll just shove it in here like this. And there it is. And when it's like that, it's like gonna stay damp. When I need it, I just pull it out. When I'm done with it for that one window, I roll it up, shove it in. Real simple. Works real good. That's what's nice about the small one, is I can put it in this small pouch. Even though I've seen some really nice pouches on videos in England, those nice big pouches. John Germany's got some, and Mr. Most has got some, and just about everybody in those countries in Europe and in the United Kingdom carry those nice big pouches. Well, we don't seem to have those here, those same kind of pouches, but works pretty good. But that's what you do. You wet the one side, keep the other side dry, and you just fold it in. Just like that. Get that baby working for you, man. Now, like I said, I've got this going. Now I'm gonna get my tools ready. I'm gonna go in the house and clean some windows. And I'll shove this in there on my way in the house. Talk to the homeowner. Say, where do you want me to start? I'll go start where I'm going to go. By the time I get up there, by the time I start cleaning windows and I get my first set of windows clean and ready to go, this is going to be ready to go. This will be ready to go. Okay, so here we go with the big scrim. And this is perfect. Just takes a few minutes to get it dampened. Now, Mr. Mose had brought up the fact that you can spray it with a bottle, spray bottle, get it misted. You still have to get it damp. That's one way. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to try that out, see how that works. That might just go, I might just go with that. I don't know. I'll find out how that works. But this is it right here. Okay, y'all. Just wanted to give you that little tidbit. If you want to use it dry, use it dry. Tony had brought up that he uses it dry. Mark had brought up that he uses it dry. They had brought up the fact that it's going to be freezing in where they're living, out there in the Iceland. And it's gonna freeze on them. Well, I don't know. I mean, it may. I don't know. I've never had to deal with that. But this is perfect. This is perfect, man. You should do this. You guys should do this. Oh, one other thing is, when this gets dirty, if I take this and throw it into fresh water and rinse it out a couple times, it's ready to go again. I don't need to take it home and wash it. I could do that maybe 8 or 10 times, 7 to 8 times, and it's still ready to go. I can use this thing this way 3 days, 4 days, and it'll be perfect. And the big one lasts longer than the small one. There you go. This is perfect. This is perfect. It works perfectly. You know, you're not gonna know that it works until you try it. Give it a try. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to give it a try. You give everything else a try, give this a try. Forget about who tells you it. Just give it a try. See how it works. Get this Scrim, damp this Scrim, do this Scrim, and go with Mr. Sponge. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna sign out now, and I just want you all to think about all the good things in life. Just remember now, try Missy Culver. Da 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 da. Bye.